Brian Cutling with Left in the Field Outdoors, and I'm just getting ready to go up to my property and hang a new vine and put up a new camera, do some early season inventory. It's the first week of March. We had a thaw and a lot of the snow was gone. So I've been up at the property looking at some things. I found some new trails, and so I'm going to go up and I'm going to put in a mock scrape and start getting some inventory with those deer. One of the things I'm looking for is a main trail, main travel corridor that the deer are using quite a bit, and I believe I found that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang a branch, I'm going to hang a vine that I've made right off of that trail where two trails kind of come together. And I'm going to put that vine there, hang a camera not too far away, and start getting some inventory. It's never too early to start mock scrapes, and what I'm taking up with me, I'm taking up some Smokies Wicked Wicks, which is a wonderful pre-orbital compound, and I'm just going to use a little bit of forehead this time of year. I'm still going to use it, but I'm going to use a tiny bit. And I used to spend a ton of time licking branches and things, stuff like that. What I found in my area of northwest Pennsylvania is the deer really like grapevines. So I've modified and made some grapevines of my own to hang and create and make mock scrapes. We'll show you the camera setup first, then we'll show you how we set up the vine, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned, check out what we got next. All right, this is my camera setup. It's a Link Evo. You got a wood hood over top of it just to keep the elements and things off. I mean, it's early March. We're still going to get plenty of snow. Got the 12-volt battery with it, so it'll last quite a bit. And you can see the main trail that they run through, and there's the vine that hangs down. So it's a great spot to really get an inventory for deer. The nice thing about the leaves, they stick out great so that you can see them easy on trail camera. So this is really what I'm looking for. You can see there's a trail here. I'm just kind of getting into an area where I know the deer travel to get an inventory of what's going on and what they're doing. And you know, I'll explain everything about the vine here in just a minute. Now that we saw the camera set up and everything else. Hey everybody, this is Brian Cutler with Left in the Field Outdoors, and it is beginning of March, March 3rd, and it's in the evening, and today I'm up here on my 12 acres. It's such a nice day, the snow's starting to melt, and I want to get in here and start doing some things for the fall season. It's never too early to establish mock scrapes, get some things going. So what I did is, this is a homemade vine that I made, and I just attached it to this tree so that it can move around. And this is actually just right off of a main deer trail that cuts between my property, you know, that runs east and west between my property. And these deer come here and travel through here quite a bit. So I'm going to try and get an inventory here of what deer are around, what deer have made it through, and try to establish a new scrape here in the spring. So one of the things I do with these vines is I have these artificial leaves that I get. I just go to Walmart and buy them, and I attach them. And then once I have them attached, I'm going to take a saw and I'm going to make some cuts here at the bottom so I can expose some of the vine. And that's where I'm going to put my pre-orbital. And then up here, I'm going to do two cuts up here so I can put my forehead gland. So I'm going to put some pre-orbital down here, some forehead here, and then I'll put some interdigital in the scrape underneath. Deer communicate all year round, 24/7. I have a vine that's active about 40 yards away from here that I'm probably going to swap out probably come May and put a new one in. But this is establishing a new scrape just for communication. I'm looking at also putting a food plot back behind here coming in the spring, but we'll show you now how we're going to put the gland lure on here. And I always use Smokies deer lures. So I have some forehead gland lure here, and again, you don't need to use a whole lot. Okay, I'm going to take a dropper full, and I'm going to turn this way, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit in one of the slots, and a tiny bit in the other slot. Because again, deer aren't deer aren't using a ton. They're not using a ton of forehead at this point in time, but it still lets them know that they're here. And then I have preorbital, and I like to use the Smokies Wicked Wicks. This is multiple bucks preorbital in one batch. And take this, remove the stopper, and again, you're just going to use a little bit in each of the grooves to establish that deer are traveling through here and hitting the mock scrape, leaving their scent behind. So again, out of a full stopper, I used maybe half of it. Again, you don't want to use too much. You don't want to, you know, frighten the deer away by using too much, if they don't sit there and make a whole bunch. Now underneath, I'm going to create the area. Okay, and before I leave, I'm going to put my interdigital gland lure in here. So you can make these vines on your own. Buck stick is another great tool. I use those as well throughout the property. Along trails, I like to put some vines. Some people say licking branches. In my area where I live, I've found that these seem to just work really, really well. You know, this is right at their nose level where they can get to. And I'll also put a little bit of preorbital on some of these leaves here before I leave. Adjust this so that, okay, those fake leaves will hold the scent. Just right over here, I have a SpyPoint Link Evo camera hooked up that will send me pictures back to my phone. And you know, this is just a little setup that I will use throughout the year and check. And again, I can move this around as the year progresses. You know, if I find that they're not traveling through here, I'm not getting a whole lot of pictures, which I don't see why I wouldn't, because the trail is just beaten. You know, I can come in and move the camera and move things around. So this is Brian Keitlinger establishing some spring mock scrapes. Get out, do them now. You know, go ahead and get things taken care of for the spring. All right, so it's been 24 hours since I've put the vine up, and since then my Link Evo camera has taken over 100 pictures. The first deer to come hit the vine came at right around 7 o'clock, so less than 4 hours after I'd been there to set up the mock vine. The first deer came in and hit it. Since then, it's been a parade of deer stopping by, leaving their scent on the vine, and leaving their scent in the scrape. So I'm going to leave a few pictures at the end here to show you the deer that have been coming in and hitting this. Subscribe to my page, Left in the Field Outdoors. God bless.